All right.
Alice Cinema back, another dish. How we doing out there? Good, great, grand, and wonderful. As you see on your screen, your dial, however you are choosing to join us today, why do you continue to make me do this shit? I'm even doing fucking video now, solo. God damn it. I'm okay. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. I thought I when I started doing the show, I just thought it would be easier for you guys to listen. That's what I just I don't know. I thought you'd listen to it on the way to work. You fucking or if you're at work and you're allowed to wear headphones, like that would be another method that you could use it. But I guess I just don't get the demand for video for this. Look at that hair. What's up with that fucking hair? Anyway, as you see on your screen, for the record, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing anymore. Like I am so tapped out of this show that it's becoming a problem. In fact, like I was this close. See, look, I'm already using the visual. I was this close to just writing the distributors that I do shit for and just being like, hey, I don't want to anymore. But I didn't have the fucking balls. So, which is, I don't know why I'm bringing that up. This one isn't even one that a distributor gave me. It's just one that I wanted to talk about a little bit. And I'm just going to keep it brief because this is another one of those movies you got to see it. Like there's no way I'm going to be able to impact you on a deep level like this film did for me. And it was yeah, I as soon as I found out that this movie was happening, like this is like Christmas Day shit for me. Like Mark McDonough, who has done, I mean, several of films that are so great to me. In Bruges, Seven Psychopaths, The Guard, Three Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri, just that those are my types of movies. So let me what is your types of movies? Dark comedy, gut punch comedies. Those are my types of movies. I not so much anymore, but back in the day, like people would be like, "Wow, you like Game of Thrones and stuff," and it's like, yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's fine. I don't. It's not the greatest shit or Star Wars or whatever. Like I watch that stuff. This is where I'm different from you fucks. Like you don't watch the shit that you think may not interest you, and I still do. So I watch the shit that I want to watch and the shit that I'm like, whatever. But these are the type of movies that I like. This is why I go to the cinema, is for films like this. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Star Wars. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Harry Potter or whatever. I I just like stuff that's rooted in realism. I think I was telling somebody the other day, Coen brothers are my favorite types of movies. Why? Because it's normal people getting in fucked up situations and making fucked up decisions. That's why I like it. That's why I like it. Not this doesn't necessarily happen in this film, but in terms of the dark comedy, this is your quintessential dark comedy, and same with, oh man, we got a lot of shaking going on with I'm getting too animated with the video element here. This is why I don't fucking do it. This is why I don't do video, but when you have filmmakers plural saying, but you're such a joy to watch when we do the interviews. Your reaction is great. Yeah, but what about when I'm reacting to no one? How good is all this when there's nobody else? I don't fucking know. The Banshees of Inisherin. The Banshees of Inisherin. Starring Colin Farrell, starring Brendan Gleeson, Treasure, a global treasure. Both of them. I'm just going to come on record and say it. In fact, I think somewhere in the Rotten Tomatoes, somebody said that this is Colin Farrell's best performance. Here, let me ponder live on air. See, this is fine for the visual element but for the people listening just to the podcast, all they get is dead fucking air. And since I don't do any editing, they're gonna get dead air. Is this my favorite Colin Farrell flick? Well, let's see. Phone Booth, I really liked. Alexander in Bruges, which is another written and directed Martin McDonagh film. Seven Psychopaths, The Lobster. Oh, I did dude, I love the weird shit. Like The Lobster and Killing of a Sacred Deer by Yorgos Lanthimos. Yorgos Lanthimos. I don't know. Those are really good and super strong performances from Colin Farrell. I don't know, man. I don't know if it's my favorite. I mean, it's up there. It's definitely up there. But as far as a favorite, I guess we got to see a little bit more range from Colin Farrell than we've had, at least in the past 5 to 10. Well, it feels fucking weird to say that because he just played the fucking Penguin, dude. Colin Farrell played the Batman villain Penguin. And I know all of you guys know that, but what I'm saying is, like, first of all, great makeup on the Batman, right? Just like he was unrecognizable as as Penguin, and he's one of the strongest parts of that movie. But I guess I just say that is you watch him in this and then you compare it to something recent like Batman, dude, he's a fucking treasure too. He's a fucking treasure too. I don't know. I wouldn't even like rate one higher or the other in terms of Brendan Gleeson or Colin Farrell. All I know is that 9 times out of 10, if they're in a movie, I'm probably going to see it most of the time. And there's stinkers in there, probably more so on the Colin Farrell side than the Brendan Gleeson side. But I just think they're both top-notch actors, and in this, they're both at the top of their fucking game. Without them, I wonder if the beating heart that resides within this film would be heard. I don't even. Is that a good analogy? I don't. Fucking Jesus Christ. Anyway, you got Colin Farrell who plays. So this is funny. I don't know if I'm going to say any of these legitimate Irish names how they're supposed to be said, because as I'm watching, so Colin Farrell's character name in this is Predraic Syllabahan. But I swear to God, there's times in that film where it sounds like they're saying Pollock. So I don't know if it's Podrick, Pollock. I don't know, man. But when I saw the actual spelling of it, I went, no, that can't be right. That can't be right. Anyway, he plays Patrick. We'll just say Colin. And then Brendan Gleeson's playing Colm Doherty. Colm Doherty. You have Carrie Condon, who is amazing in this. Like, you take her and Barry Keoghan. Is it Keoghan or Keoghan? Who knows? He was also in Killing of a Sacred Deer. Really good in that. But you take Carrie Condon and Barry Keoghan out of this, and it would still work, but there's something about their presence in this that just adds another layer to this. It's so, I don't want to say it's so dark, but it does feel like it's a gut punch after gut punch. It's like gut punch comedy. So those are, circling back to the opening of the show, those are the movies that I like. Is that I like dramedies. Those are probably my favorite things to watch. Dramedies rooted in realism. How did I describe it to a layman earlier? Instead of going ha ha ha, oh. It's more like, oh, that's, I like that. I probably shouldn't, but I'm sick and twisted. So anyway, Banshees of Inisherin. I don't know what I like more. Everything Everywhere All at Once or the Banshees of Inisherin. Now, I say that they're two totally different movies. You can't, it's tough doing the whole list things these days. I've explained it on the show before, but I guess why I say that is they're two total, well, are they? Yeah, they are. They're two totally different experiences, but like there's something so, I mean, Everything Everywhere All at Once is definitely more original, but you don't see movies like the Banshees of Inisherin getting made that often. You don't, or at least that are as sharp as Banshees in. Like there's, I read another critic that was saying like if you like slow, boring, whatever about men, then you like this movie. And we'll get into the toxic masculinity quote that I read briefly, but point is, um, I just wish more movies came out like this, and I understand that that's just not going to be the case. Like patience has, there is no patience anymore. There's no focus anymore. And if you're like, oh, you're an oldie, I guarantee you have checked your phone at least one or two times since I started speaking. If you think that's normal, you're an idiot. You used to go to the movie, to a 2-hour movie, and not, you never looked at your phone, and now fucking, anyway, it's a joy for me to see films like this get made because I don't want us to lose our way, man. Like there's nothing wrong with Marvel, there's nothing wrong with Star Wars and blah blah blah, but like I just feel like the older crowds, like 20 somethings are more like 17 somethings now, right? So I just, I don't know. Like I was watching, French 1965 French dramas when I was 19 and 20, So like I understand that there has been a shift in focus, but like if you only realized how much good shit you were missing, like I just don't think it would be as prevalent where you're just like, I'm gonna watch a TV show, it's safe. Oh, shut up, dude. Like, even if you need to watch a fucking movie in segments, I don't get it. Like yesterday, no horse shit, Wang. Big Trouble in Little China, no horse shit, Wang. Yesterday, I watched three fucking movies back to back to back. Okay. And I wish I would have closed with Banshees. I fucking knew better. I knew it was going to be the best one out of the three, but I look at that as no different as you binge watching a show. I don't know why you think it's different. I swear to God, it's like Snapchat memory, dude. Like it just, like I don't understand why if you're like, but I can do a TV show. It's only fucking 32 minutes and then it's done. Yeah, but if you watch 9 episodes, you see what I'm getting at? The 2-hour movie, like your argument becomes fucking, there's holes in it. Okay. But I do see this movie like, man, I was struggling to, and there's a few people, of course, like, Kyle Brule over at I Know Movies and you don't, like, I wouldn't, I knew he would go out and see it. Like, I wouldn't have to be like, you should see ... right? And here where I'm at, can I adjust this real quick? Can I adjust this? There we go. A little bit more stability. I was at work today, and I just wanted to tell everybody all about the Banshees of Inisherin. I'm looking around at my options. Oof. Not a whole lot of people that I can tell. Now, granted, I understand that's where I work. I'm surrounded by younger kids, but even the old ones, even the ones that are, around my age. Bro, I can't sit down for a movie anymore. How long is it? 2 hours? Jesus Christ, dude. I don't understand it anymore. I swear to God, unless it's like all smash cuts or Bullet Train, I am going to watch Bullet Train. But I just feel like unless I'm suggesting Bullet Train or the like I just might as well not waste my fucking time because like y'all don't give a shit. And that's fine. You're watching other shit, but are you like, I almost feel like, man, ever since I'm not even talking about the movie. Ever since I got into this, this meaning like movies, just like as a hobby or becoming a cinephile, whatever the fuck you want to say. Um, I was always trying to find the newest shit. Always like what kind, like just like, in fact, I'll go as far as to say like there was a goal like back when I actually lived out in Los Angeles, see everything. Everything, see everything, documentaries, TV shows, movies. The only thing that I really left off my list back in those days was like cartoons. Like, and I've had this fucking argument over and over again. If you're over the age of 25 and you don't have kids and you are front line for the next Pixar movie, we are different. I'm not gonna make fun of you or anything, but we're different. But back in the day, when I was that age and I was out in Los Angeles, everything but like cartoons and stuff for children. I just show me this movie, fucking. But I don't know. I watched everything, and I long to like kind of go off the beaten path and find stuff that a lot of people aren't talking about. And granted, it's a little easier now to do just because of so many fucking platforms. Like, just if you guys want to know where you can see the Banshees of Inisherin, it's on HBO Max right now. I guess there's still a part of me that remembers a time like you had to search for shit. Now, granted, I was in the right place to find all these crazy, movies off the beaten path that I wanted to find. R.I.P. Amoeba Music. That's where I would go for like just international prints of stuff that you just can't. Anyway, those days are over. But um I'm curious as to when the culture is going to shift again, because like I, there is at least 3 to 5 people I can think of that when I went to work today that I think would enjoy this film, but I know them on a personal level so well that I was almost doing them a favor by not recommending it, because I know like one of the dudes, like anytime I put on a movie, I just fall asleep. I don't know how. Like, maybe you should live healthier. Like, if that's really what happens every time you throw on a movie, you need to eat healthier, sleep better, and whatever. Because like, I don't know, dude. So back to the 3 movies. I watched 3 movies. I all over the board. We are all over the board trying to entertain for the visuals. God damn it. Banshees of Inisherin, The Fablemans, and Bones and all yesterday. Now, I think the point I was trying to make when I originally brought that up was all you got to do is just, I don't know, change the perspective. Is that any different than probably what you did? No, you watched cooking shows all day. So what's it do a movie? You can pause the movie. It'll be okay. Just really want people to see more movies like this so that we can continue making movies like this. But I go back and forth, because when I say that, it almost sounds like Hollywood's dying. Is it? Is it? Like, you have all these avenues to fucking put your shit out on. Is it? Now, in terms of Hollywood giving you money to make shit, yeah, those days may be over. But as far as like a release, you don't have to worry about. Eh. So what is now that we're 20 minutes into the episode and I'm only going to do a half hour? I'm only going to do a half hour. So what is the Banshees of Inisherin without giving anything away? So it's definitely a dark comedy. Okay. If you've seen In Bruges, you know what the fuck you're in store for. If you haven't, watch In Bruges, The Guard, 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri, and then this one, and your palate will be ripe for the tasting of the Banshees of Inisherin. Does that even work either? Jesus, Sean, your analogies are for fucking a toddler that don't know better. Shout out to my new nephew, Brooks. What up, Doc? What up, dog? You'll never hear this ever. Of course, since I'm doing video, it's going to get put up on a server that's going to outlast humanity. So maybe you will. The story takes place at the end of the Irish Civil War, 1923. Takes place on the island of Inisherin. And for anybody who's like, oh, maybe I should check out the Irish island of Inisherin. Doesn't exist. It's a fictional island. Practicing folk musician Colm Doherty, played by Brendan Gleeson, stops talking to. This is the whole movie. Colm stops talking to / ignoring his longtime friend Colin Farrell, or Pedrick, Pollock. I swear to God, listen to it. Is there a couple times it sounds like Pollock? Anyway, Podrick. Combs, Brendan Gleeson's character stops talking to Colin Farrell. Combs stops talking to Podrick. And at first, like, which again speaks to just how good Colin Farrell is in this. At first, he's trying to figure out, like, what did I do something when I was hammered? Like, this is 1923. Did I do something? Because if I did, I forgot about it, and I'm so sorry about it. Colin Farrell's character in this, super nice guy. In fact, they know him as the nice guy on the island. A little daft, but the nice guy on the island. And I say a little daft because Calm stops talking to Podrick. Because he's dull. So it wasn't this big thing that happened, or he fucking left the door open and his dog got out or something in 1920. None of that. He just Calm has decided I'm getting old and I want to do something that outlasts me. And he's a folk musician, so he's gonna write a folk song. Okay. And he can't do that if he continues to have boring, nonsensical conversations with Pedrick at the pub at 2:00. Pub at 2. He can't do that. He can't grow as an individual. And he just doesn't want to just have story time for the rest of his life in a bar. Kind of reminds me of Liz in Shaun of the Dead. She doesn't want to wake up one day 40 years later with the sad old fucks in the bar. There's a little bit of that in it. Shaun of the Dead, shout out. But that's the basis of the film, and you have to see to believe what it is. Now, I saw some people saying that it's like a sequel to In Bruges. I don't think that's true at all. And I hate it when people use the word or the phrase spiritual sequel. I mean, I guess. I don't even know what the hell that means. Like, I do, but like in the context of how I think this particular critic was writing it, like I don't know. Like there's part of me where you could be like, oh, as long as it has the same actors in it, you could say lots of stuff is a spiritual sequel. So I don't know. Either way, it was good to see Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell team up again. I think their on-screen rapport is just as good as any that you're going to see ever, not just this year, ever. They are so good together. And again, I urge you, if you haven't seen In Bruges yet, see that first so you can. There's no difference in terms of how well their characters interact between In Bruges and Banshees. It's so fun and yet totally heartbreaking to watch at times. Especially there are moments where Colin Farrell is so hurt by some of the things that so hurt and so confused by some of the things that Colm is saying that it's just to see them two, like you're getting a treat. You're getting a treat by being able to live in a time to see, if you're into movies, to live in a time to see these two work together. You got a treat. You're getting a treat. Anyway, like I don't know that I want to say any more than that. I guess I'll say this. Yeah, I don't have no problem saying this. So basically, what it comes like, Colin Pedrick is bothering Colm. Like, why aren't you talking to me? Why aren't you talking to me? And Colm eventually, just as the situation becomes worse and he can't tolerate it anymore, he gives Drake, Podrick, an ultimatum. And the ultimatum, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna tell you what happened because no spoilers. I'm gonna be honest with you. Boy, did I not think that or boy did I think he was full of shit about the ultimatum that he made until some nice sound design comes in and wrecks your fucking world, dude. I gasped out loud when I was watching it because I didn't I don't know, I just didn't think it was gonna fucking happen. And then you hear bang, and you're like, oh, you fucking did it. And those of you that have seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. What else can we say in kind of closing up? It's about two men. I don't, and I understand like women may not be attracted to this film, but I always tell people put yourself in the position of the characters. Like if you ever have a fucking, I don't know, like women especially, I'm obviously for a very, very long time and still to a certain extent, everything is very male driven. And I understand that. But why don't you suspend disbelief for a little while? Why don't you put yourself in the character of Calm or put yourself in the character of Padraic or even um uh uh Siobhan, which is the sister. Put yourself in her shoes. I think she has a great character arc that goes throughout the film. Or even watching Barry Keoghan work. Do you ever feel like the dumb one in your town? but if you're a woman watching this, or if you're a woman, like yes, you would never go out to seek this film, but I urge you to and just fucking just pretend that they're fucking women. Ah, well, women wouldn't say that. Well, you don't fucking know. Have you traveled the world? And if you have, and you turns out that no woman would ever say that, all right, all right. I don't believe that you traveled the world, but I'll entertain it. But I don't know. Like I read some toxic masculinity line on Rotten Tomatoes, and I was just kind of like, I went back and forth. Like, on the one hand, am I glad that we're acknowledging certain things? Of course I am. But on the flip side of that, is it detrimental to the film upon its release if that's how you're talking about it critically? And I don't know. I don't necessarily know what I'm trying to get at with that. I mean, because the movie does have, I don't know. Why can't it just be toxic humanity? I don't know. I don't know why we have to pigeonhole it to one thing. And I know that cultural, the standard of the culture right now, it's fine to say that. I guess I don't want to get in a habit where we are possibly degrading films based on social standards. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me because I do feel that on some level we like you have to have a villain, right? Well, are you going to say that the movie's homophobic because the villain says faggot? Like that's I don't know if do you see what I'm kind of driving at is like we have to find another way. And I'm not saying that you can't, like oh we don't need to say words like that. I'm not I agree with you. You can make the character hateable in other ways, but on the off chance that it fits the story, are we going to negatively review something because of the cultural standards? I think we're on a slippery slope, gang, on a slippery slope because I tell you right now, so the F word that I just dropped, if a villain says that and he's in context of how he's saying it, it's evil, well, I'm gonna hate the character even more. That's a testament to the writing. That's not going to make me go, well, I only hated the character because he was homophobic. That's at least that's not, I hate the fact that I am a critic, but that's at least not what this critic would do. I'm not. I I hesitate to say that I'm a critic. I'm a sharer. I just want to share with you my thoughts on these films, for good or ill. For good or ill, gang. I just want to share because I know, at least in my neck of the woods, that hair's fucking crazy, dude. Coming in on the video like that, that hair is fucking wild. Um, I just don't want to, and I wrote in my little notes here, I just don't want to get into a position where now every movie's stupid because it's not living by the standard of the culture. I suppose I just could have said that fucking way easier. Um, yeah, like this movie is just one gut punch after another. It really is. What else can I say about it? If you've tried McDonough's stuff in the past, you know you're in for a comedy, but also tragedy. And this tale spares no one for the most part, except maybe the sister. And it feels like you're reeling from the first gut punch as you're taking in another one, or I think I mentioned earlier in the show, it's like gut punch, laugh. And like, it's very hard to do that. I think successfully as a writer, to do it as efficiently as Martin has done it. I like there's something, and there's a reason I think why his movies, for me at least, not necessarily for you, for me at least, why his shit sticks out like a sore thumb for me. And good, I want the sore thumb. Dude, I just say some of the dumbest shit, don't I? But I do. I want that. I want to see that sore thumb because I just like alternative voices. Not to say that, you know, Marvel, I don't know. I always go back to Marvel and everything because on the one hand, I feel to a certain degree that they have saved film. But on the other hand, I wonder how much we're hurting them in terms of formula. But then I combat that with, well, you have the Marvel film so that the guy can get the girl, or the guy beats the monster, or the girl beats the guy, or the girl beats the monster, whatever trope you have. It's still okay to do that. Like, I'm still fine with a traditional ending as long as I get to see movies like this, like the Banshees of Inisherin, because this is another one of the, like I go round and round, or I have in the past gone round and round with people. I like movies that end very ambiguously. I like pondering what if. Um, and then ultimately I don't care. Like, I think that's the beauty of it. I was telling somebody the other day, well, why don't I think we were, the traditional one is Inception. Did the totem topple at the end? I don't know. I don't fucking care. I love that we don't know. Why can't that be the answer? Like, instead of it being like, "Oh, I think it did," or "Oh, nope, nope, it didn't topple. He's back in reality." Or or it didn't topple, so he's in the dreamscape. Um why do you care? Isn't it cooler to just be like, "Oh, it's a movie. It's a fucking movie. It's not a documentary." If that ended a documentary, yeah, that'd be a fucking trip, and I need to know the answer. I'm a normal human being, but when it comes to the fucking movie magic stuff, the fake stuff, I don't care. And this movie, like, I kind of actually, as we were coming to a close, and I knew I had been sitting there for about an hour and 45 minutes, and I'm like, all right, so we're getting pretty close. How are we going to choose to end this? And I thought that it was going to be, nope, that would be a spoiler. So don't do that. Um, it doesn't end ambiguously. Like, you definitely know what's about to go forward. But I guess I like the ending for what it was. It was very warm, but yeah, nope, that'll ruin it. That'll ruin the ending. You'll know it. You know what's going to happen if I do that. Look at that face. I'm not high, by the way. I just look this way. I don't have a full blown Jim Brewer face, but as I'm looking at myself in the screen, Jesus, man, between the hair and just how your eyes sit naturally, you're a goon. Uh let's give a little bit more love. Cinematography, Ben Davis in this, and Ben Davis has done Layer Cake, which if you haven't seen Layer Cake yet, do so. Hannibal Rising, Kick Ass, Seven Psychopaths, Guardians of the Galaxy, Doctor Strange, Three Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri, Captain Marvel, Dumbo, The King's Man, and just while I'm up here, music from Carter Burwell, who does everything: Blood Simple, Miller's Crossing, Barton Fink, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Wayne's World 2, Airheads, Hudsucker Proxy, Conspiracy Theory. I just want to say, anytime I get a chance to bring up Conspiracy Theory with Mel Gibson and Julia Roberts, one of my favorite movies of all time. And it's just a popcorn movie. I don't like, it's not overly great. It's not overly bad. Fuck, I love Conspiracy Theory. The Big Lebowski, No Country for Old Men, Before the Devil Knows You're Dead, In Bruges, Burn After Reading, A Serious Man. And I just put this in his catalog because it was on there. And so you heard all the movies that I just said, right? No Country for Old Men, Burn After Reading, blah, 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 Serious Man, and Twilight. Carter Burwell has done. And a little Twilight scaboose. Anyways, let's go back to what this film looks like. Holy shit. Everything looks like a fucking painting for the most part. If our characters aren't interacting with each other, everything outside of that looks like a fucking painting. Ben Davis, the man, Jesus, man, that looks so fucking good. Some of those exteriors of Calm's house, made me want to move to Ireland. Makes me want to move to Inisherin. Well, good news or bad news, Sean. Inisherin does not exist. Well, as far as first video review by myself, yeah, I hate saying review. I just want you to see it. We should call this cheerleading. I just want you to see this film. I told a few people today, hey, you should check it out. And they were like, huh? What did you call it? What's the name of the film again? And I'm over here going, I have been waiting for this film for a year. For a fucking year. God damn it. Anyway, Banshees of Inisherin, hauntingly sad, impellingly strange. And it's about friendship. Friendship. See it now, HBO Max. So how are we going to do this? Are we just going to run it? Yeah, let's just run it. Ellis Cinema. The Banshees of Inisherin. HBO Max right now. Got to do all those. I got some coming around the corner for you, but interview first. Make sure you stay tuned on Saturday. Might have a little treat for you. Ellis Cinema, Banshees of Inisherin. We gone.